My father, Rabbi Adi Alchas, his grandfather, Dr. Shliman Warda, whose grandchildren and great-grandchildren are here. I want to begin by speaking about Dr. Shliman Warda. He went to America in 1890s. He became a doctor at Long Island University. He became a U.S. citizen in 1900. And in 1903, he went back to Iran, a doctor. He could have stayed in America. Doctors in America live large. He chose to go back to Iran. He went back to Iran, not to Tehran, to the big hospitals there, but back to Urmi, where he was from, to take care of his people, to live a simple and good life as a good man. Rabbi Adi Alchas, Hannibal's father, probably the greatest scholar, kept Assyrian alive. He started the Susan School. He published Gilgamesh, Journal of Assyrian Poetry and Writing. His biggest work was he spoke 17 languages. He translated the Iliad of Homer from original ancient Greek into modern Assyrian. This book was never published. It sits today unpublished. He also lived a simple life. He lived a good life for goodness. Hannibal continued that. Probably the greatest Assyrian painter for sure, the greatest Iranian painter. He worked and worked. As a child, I remember you could never wake up earlier than him. And if you woke up, he was painting, he was drawing, he was writing. All the time. 10 hours a day. He had a job, professor, but he would also come home and he would work. He had time for parties and friends, and he lived good. But he worked. I've never seen anyone like that in my life. We all worked 30, 40 years at a company. We retire. He never retired. He worked and worked for what? Not for fame or fortune, just because he had to work. He kept alive in himself the child. He held his inner child's hand, and this helped him produce and produce. I went back to Iran 3 years ago for the summer, for the first time in 25 years. And I spent the summer with my father, 78 years old. 12 hours a day he was writing or painting or drawing. He had a studio with 2 easels and a desk, 2 oil paintings, every table in this basement apartment, a small basement apartment. That's where he lived, his last home. And there was the kitchen table full of papers and drawings, the living room table, the dining room table, the guest table. Every table was full of works. And I would see him just sitting there very seriously drawing and writing. And sometimes he would look up with a smile, and I could see this special smile, and it was the end of the painting. When the drawing that he finished, he'd have a special smile. And he would be happy because he finished a drawing. And I would say to him, are you smiling because, you're happy? Aren't you sad you finished this drawing that's your friend, that you've been working on for days, and now that you finished it? And he said, no, I'm happy because I finished it, but each drawing that I do, it gives birth to 10 more drawings in my mind when I'm doing it. And he would just continue to the next table and the next drawing. I was there for 3 months. He had 3 exhibitions. Each exhibition was new paintings, new drawings, nothing repeated. It was amazing. I was so happy to see that. He's had thousands of students. From these thousands of students, maybe 100 continue to be painters and artists. From those 100, maybe 20 have become teachers and then a third have been teaching. So it grows exponentially. He told me once, he said, if an artist begins to sell his art, it takes away the art from his heart. He wasn't a commercial painter. He painted because he had to paint, and he wanted to make the world a more beautiful and better place. My sisters, Adrienne, Anita, and I, we want to make an art center in Iran, Gilgamesh Center, the name of the first gallery that he opened in 1960. I'm not sure the date, but in Tehran. And we want to continue that. We found out that was his final wish. And we want to have his works on exhibition there. We want to have his students all of his students, to give a drawing or a painting of theirs to that, to have a permanent exhibition of their works, to have a school there to teach painting to anyone who wants to, drawing, to come and learn there. And we ask all of you for your support to fulfill his last wishes. I'll keep this short, but while I was there, I wrote this poem, and I want to end this my speech with this poem. After 25 years, I went back to Iran. I stayed for 3 months in Iran. I saw many things in Iran. I saw how old my friends had become. I saw how old I had become. I saw things that had changed. I saw things that hadn't changed. I saw how hard a worker my Baba was. I saw how hard a worker my Baba was. I saw the expectations I had had of my Baba I shouldn't have had. I saw how much I loved my Baba. I saw how much I loved Iran. I saw that you could exist with a villa and a car and money. I saw that you could exist with just a piece of a dream. I stayed all summer in Iran. I saw many things in Iran. I would like to read the same poem in Farsi, and I'll be off. بعد از 25 سال برگشتم به ایران. 3 ماه ماندم در ایران. خیلی چیزها دیدم در ایران. دیدم چقدر دوستان پیر شدن. دیدم چقدر خودم پیر شدم. دیدم چیزهایی که عوض شده. دیدم چیزهایی که عوض نشده. دیدم چقدر بابام پرکاره. دیدم چقدر بابام پرکاره. دیدم انتظارهایی که از بابام داشتم نمیبایستی داشته باشم. دیدم چقدر بابام دوست دارم. دیدم چقدر ایران رو دوست دارم. دیدم با ویلا و ماشین و پول میشه زندگی کرد. دیدم با یک تیکه رویا میشه زندگی کرد. تمام تابستان ماندم در ایران. خیلی چیزها دیدم در ایران. Thank you.